Audio Jungle.
Hello everyone. Today I, Ayushi Pushpa, the interviewer of Eumind Group 1, along with my fellow teammates, would be interviewing two experienced personalities in their respective fields. Firstly, we have Mr. Ashwin Nair, who has studied in Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology, Mumbai, and is currently working as a process engineer. Hello, sir.
Hey Ayushi.
So now let us start with the interview. According to you, is corruption deep rooted in India?
Well, before we talk anything about corruption, I think it's essential for us to understand what corruption means. Like, if you open up a dictionary, I think corruption is defined as an illegal or dishonest behavior by powerful people. Now, who are these powerful people? And like, any person who holds power, are they capable of being corrupt or are they capable of promoting corruption? Just to understand that, if we look around ourselves, we will find the answer. Like, corruption it exists around us in different levels. Like, people with small limited amounts of power would do corruption in their limited way, whereas people with large which hold a lot of power would perform corruption on a larger scale. So I think I remember there was a sentence in one of the textbooks that we had in 10th standard. I think it was the NCERT textbook, and it said corruption is both endemic and a pandemic for the country. So it is essentially it's a part of human behavior, but then whether it's used for uh, a very detrimental purpose, or if its impact is too harsh, or if the line between good and evil there is blurred, or if it's a sharp line that needs to be seen. So I'd say back to your question, whether it's deep rooted in the country is a strong statement. I'd say there are people who misuse the power that they are given, but at the same time, there are also many people who use it for the right purposes. Yeah.
Who suffers the most due to corruption?
The first answer that springs to mind is the common man, I'd say. But then the people who suffer the most would be the people who don't have the power to react to any circumstance, I'd say, because like people who have power would find ways to manipulate it, to use it to their advantage. But it's the people who don't have the power to even satisfy their basic needs that who would be most impacted by the consequences of corruption.
And what can the citizens do to solve this issue of corruption?
The citizens, that's interesting. Now, to solve corruption is to first, I think the most essential step would be to acknowledge its existence, because at times it becomes so integral to our daily life that it can be anything from the time when you negotiate a deal with the traffic policeman who has stopped you while you were driving your vehicle, to the time where government officials negotiate a deal and negotiate their profits when they sanction huge government deals. Corruption exists in different forms. So to acknowledge it would mean that, okay, you realize corruption exists here, and that would be the first step towards finding a solution to mitigate it. A second would be just to have proper systems in place. Like countries that have less amount or less percentage of corruption, it would be seen that they have proper systems that help reduce corruption. So if there are proper channels that exist that help to identify modes of corruption and help to reduce it, then definitely that would help bring corruption down. That's what I believe.
Okay, thank you, sir, for giving us your valuable time.
Thanks very much, Ayushi.
Greetings of the day. Today, I, Ayushi Kushwaha, the interviewer of Eumind Group 1, along with my fellow teammates, would be interviewing the second personality, Ms. Lynn Carvalho, who has done Masters in Literature and BA. and is currently working as a teacher in NL Dalmia High School. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Ayushi.
We would now be having an interview on the topic corruption deep rooted in India. So now let us begin with the interview. Ma'am, do you feel is corruption deep rooted in India?
Well, Ayushi, I would not say I fairly agree with your question. In fact, I absolutely agree. And, I feel corruption in our system is like a fluid that runs through a tree, from its very roots to the very branches. I feel it has become a very natural phenomena these days. Uh, Not taking a bribe, in fact, I feel would be considered as unnatural. The reason why I say this is because just the other day I was questioned by a certain somebody as to what profession are you in. So I said I'm a teacher. So the person happened to question me, saying, "How much had you to pay to get the job?" Now the question was so direct and hard hitting, as if making it very obvious that that is the only way for me, to have gotten that position. So I certainly feel this idea is very much cemented in, our Indian roots. Yes.
Which strata of the society suffers the most due to corruption?
I feel corruption affects all levels of society at varying levels. But, according to me, it affects the poor the most. It stifles economic growth and diverts desperately needed funds from education, healthcare, and other public services. I feel billions of dollars, billions of rupees are siphoned off through bribes instead of channelizing them to improve the lives of people who actually need it the most.
Ma'am, what can the government do to solve this issue of corruption?
Well, it is certainly not an easy task, Ayushi, to completely eradicate corruption from the face of the country. But we can certainly take some preventive measures. And one of them, I feel, is, the government should keep the private sector very honest, a public sector very honest, very transparent, and most importantly, accountable. Moreover, corruption has to be reported immediately to the right authorities so that immediate action can be taken to resolve the issue.
Thank you, ma'am, for devoting your precious time for our interview.
Most welcome. Thank you so much. It was lovely to have you interview me. Thank you.